UFC. How excited are you, man, for real? Because obviously you were doing great things in other organizations, and we know you kind of called it quits a year ago, but this was always the dream, and now it's the reality.
Yeah, I mean, when I retired last November, I meant it, and obviously I think it was, I don't know if I remember, it was end of October, early November this year. I got traded, so I got the opportunity to fight those guys who ranked above me and prove how good I am.
How much of that that was going on behind the scenes did you know about as it was happening, or were you out about it the same way we were?
No, there was a few other opportunities during my retirement of maybe, something working out where I would get to fight someone who's ranked above me. They kind of fell through, and for a while there was just nothing. Chatri and I, from one, we kept in touch just about other stuff, really, not even about fighting. And then one day they called me up and said, hey, how about we trade you? And I'm like, you could do that? Exactly, like that's a thing? And he said, yeah. Called me back a couple weeks later, and he said, hey, you're traded. I'm like, what the?
Was it the only way you were going to do this is if you were able to come to the UFC?
The only way I was going to fight again is if I was able to fight someone who's ranked in the top 5. And I said, to prove I'm the best. And so, like I said, there was a few other avenues that we were trying to make that happen, and this was the one that worked out.
Are you surprised that DJ was on the other end of the tree?
No, not at all. I mean, Matt Hume, who's the matchmaker for one championship, is DJ's coach. They're really close, and so I guess I kind of knew of DJ's unhappiness for a while, if that makes sense. So yeah, when that was at the end, I mean, it was kind of like, hey, it's what would be the right term here? It's kind of a validation of how good I am. I mean, they fucking traded the best, I'll say the best fighter of all time. I was gonna say the best flyweight, but how many title defenses do they have, 11 or 12? I mean, literally, that's possibly the best UFC champion of all time, and they traded him for me. So, that in itself is validation that they see the value in me.
What do you think about now the flyweights might not have a home in the UFC after that trade?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been, obviously that's been rumored for a long time, but they just made that Dustin Ortiz and Joe Benavidez today, so I don't know, I still don't know if I should believe that. Do you believe it?
I did for a while, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, I did for a while, I don't know anymore. Obviously, one championship would be more than happy to pick some of those guys up, like they got DJ. And, when you look at it really, strictly by the numbers. At the lightweight, welterweight, there's over 100 fighters in both divisions, in just the UFC, right? And then if you go, on the extremes, right, it's a bell curve. The flyweights, there's like 30, the heavyweights, there's like 30. And so obviously, the majority of the people are middleweights and lightweights and welterweights, so everyone's packed in the middle. So I mean, there just aren't as many small guys. That's just how it is, that's life. I mean, wrestling has minimum weight classes too. It's like, I have all kinds of high school kids, minimum weight class is 106 and they weigh 94 pounds. Yeah, freaking sucks. That's life. Life sucks sometimes.
You've talked about you going to the UFC for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Were you yourself a little surprised that actually
when I retired, I was telling the story the other day. I remember I interviewed to be the Badgers head coach for wrestling I think it was March or April, maybe March. I don't remember when. But I remember leaving the parking lot and there was like 2 people on my shoulder, and one was saying, well, thank God you didn't get the job, because if something were to happen, then you can fight again. And if I got the job, then I wouldn't. And I remember the guy on my other shoulder saying, you dumbass, you're retired. You're never gonna fight again. Like, you should have got this damn job. And so, it's like, I think parts of me thought I would fight again, and parts of me thought there's just no way it's going to happen.
So this fight against Robbie Lawler is
Yeah.
scheduled for January in Anaheim.
Yes.
UFC 233 is delayed to 235
Yeah.
in March. How does that change anything? Does that affect the fight?
Yeah, when I look at it from, I was really pissed when it happened, because I was ready, and I even volunteered to main event against Robbie in Brooklyn. And then Robbie said no, so then they were forced to move Benavidez Henry for that first ESPN card. And so then they were looking for a main event. I volunteered to fight Colby, I volunteered to fight Usman, and they're so scared, right? Usman is like the ultimate hypocrite, and he's so dumb, he can't even put his sentences together. He realized, like, I'm not a hypocrite, I said earn your shot. Well, no, that's exactly why I said you're a hypocrite, because that's literally what Colby said to you. And it's like, and then they pretend they don't hear me, like, despite the fact that they've been in the UFC for 4 or 5 years, despite the fact that Colby won an interim and Usman's pushing, their social media followings are still minuscule compared to mine, despite Colby running this stupid-ass MAGA gimmick, despite Marty from Nebraska trying to act like he's Kamaru. And so they're just uninteresting people. So I volunteered to fight either of them to save the Anaheim card, and both of them said no. And that's just what it comes down to. And I don't know if anyone else in the public said it, but that's the freaking truth. So when they told me it was moved back, I said, damn it. I was kind of pissed. I thought about it, I'm like, well, you know what? It's probably good. I was going from retirement to in the cage in 9 weeks. I mean, look, I was retired. I wasn't training. So going from retirement to in the cage in 9 weeks, that's pretty quick. But I had my mind set on that's what I was going to do. And so now that I have a little more time, it is probably like when I look at it from a, looking down, that's probably better for me. It's probably a lot better.
When did you actually find out the card in
Wednesday or Thursday, it was like an hour before they announced it. I got a call and said, hey, we're going to move you to March 2nd. And I said, okay, that's fine. And obviously, Robbie's still the opponent. I don't care. Let's go.
How much conversation have you had with Dana since this all happened?
Almost none. Negligible. I've talked to Hunter Campbell quite a bit, but not Dana.
I mean, he's said some stuff about you in the past. It's not as bad as he said about other people.
Sure.
He's been critical.
Absolutely.
Now that you're here, is it like water under the bridge? I mean, what's that conversation going to be?
No, I think when one person and another person have a disagreement, the thing you need to do, if you want to have respect for each other, is sit down and have that conversation. We haven't been able to do that so far. He said nice things about the media, but that's also probably because I volunteered to do the dirty work. I volunteered to switch, be the main event against Robbie. Robbie said no. I volunteered to fight Marty from Nebraska. I volunteered to fight Dumb Colby. And so he sees in the value in what I'm doing. It's not he's being nice. It's whatever though. But what has happened in the past doesn't just go away. It's not just. And I think because of his position, he thinks that's how it goes. Listen, I'm here to fight people in the cage. I'm not here to be anyone's best friend. And if we've developed friendship because of that, that's fine. But I'm here to fight people in the cage.
Do you feel like some of the stuff he said in the past was only because you weren't here, or do you think you believe some of it?
I'm sure to a certain extent he believed it. I mean, it had kernels of truth in them. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of BS in there. I mean, a few of them were just told, yeah, he needs more experience. I mean, that's, that one was like the funniest one of them all. Yeah, so a lot of them were BS.
Did you expect to sit down with Dana, by now?
Well, I approached him in New York and said, let's go sit down. Let's talk for 10 minutes. Let's get rid of this shit, Said, nah, he was busy. He's going to do something.
And you've certainly been around him enough times over the years when you're in your corner and guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't see the value in it. It's fine.
Kamaru said he had signed up out of England to fight Tyron.
Yeah.
You're obviously close to Tyron. Is there any truth to that at all?
I believe he has. I don't know that Tyron's decided to fight him. Tyron wants to fight Colby. And honestly, Colby and Tyron's the one that makes sense. That's going to sell better than Marty from Nebraska versus Tyron. Marty from Nebraska's got 30,000 Twitter followers. Literally no one knows who he is. He's acting like he's this big deal. He doesn't have a following. People don't know who he is. You can say, I fought 12 times in the UFC or whatever. You're not interesting. People don't know who you are. You're freaking, the most interesting thing that's happened to you is me calling you Marty from Nebraska.
So Colby, you said, is doing the MAGA gimmick, as you said.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Tyron has represented Ferguson, Missouri very well.
Absolutely.
That right there on paper, there's a lot of emotions between there. Are you worried it might go too far?
No. We fight in a cage. Are you on drugs? I mean, we get in a cage and try to hurt each other. What's too far? Maybe are we gonna give him swords or something?
I guess you saw happen 229 after the fight when they hopped the cage.
Yeah, that was awesome when Khabib almost beat up Drake and then little wimpy Dylan Dennis, and he was like, yeah. That was fantastic. No, listen, we fight in a cage. Wait, if you gave him swords, maybe I'd say, okay, let's take the swords away and let him settle this. You know what? Colby he's so dumb, he has to pick the lowest common denominator. It's like, I can't get people interested in me, so I have to throw this MAGA gimmick out there because that inherently makes people upset, right? And besides that, Tyron and I, we're politically opposed to each other, right? But we're two adults who respect each other, who can have dissenting opinions on stuff and still get along really well and still respect each other and still be really good friends. Because listen, I guarantee you, you don't politically see the same exact way as every single one of your friends. And if you do, you're living in this tiny little vacuum that's going to make you a really weird, unique human being. So we should be friends with people who are politically opposed to. We should be friends with people we don't have the same values as. That's what makes us unique,
Well, what do you think about the fans, on both sides? One's obviously going to side with Colby, the other's going to
Sure.
Do you think that could get a little too far when the fans get involved?
No. What do we give the fans swords now too? I don't care if these drunk fans get in fights in the crowd. Who cares?
You're saying you and Tyron are politically
absolutely.
You can't just unfriend each other on Facebook because that's how it goes?
No, we love each other. We talk about it. It's fine. It's like, man, if I could only be friends with people I had the same political ideologies as, damn, I'd be screwed. I only have like 14 friends because I got some really unique ones.
Speaking of Tyron, man, you got Tyron, you got Chandler, who's last night. What the hell was going on in Missouri, man? I mean, you guys are all super high.
College wrestling produces good fighters. Obviously, Tyrone was the first one from Mizzou to get into that. I followed, Chandler followed. I think that's all it is. Mizzou is obviously having a lot of success. There's other colleges. Oklahoma State's had a lot of success. Johnny, which he was successful. There was a little bump there, and then USADA came and got him. Daniel's had a lot of success. There's been other people. So Arizona State had a lot of really good fighters. Kane, Bader, CB. There's a lot of people there.
With one championship, the weight class changed.
Yeah.
You've been fighting recently closer to 185.
I've been fighting. So the weight I weighed when I fought one championship, the weight I weighed to make 170 are the exact same thing. There's literally no difference at all. So I usually cut the water weight, if you will, from 183 to 185, somewhere in there. And so one championship, you had to piss hydrate and be 185 or under. So it's the same thing.
Talk a little bit about Robbie as an opponent. I mean, he's a guy obviously whose durability is there, and kind of the guy who's zombie and walks through everything and doesn't go away.
Well, he gets choked though.
Sure.
Yeah. So he didn't walk through those.
Is that your plan?
Yes. Yeah. Put my hands on him, get him tired, wear him out, beat him up, choke him out, all that good stuff.
Can you make 165?
Yes.
So if they added that division,
I'll be the 165-pound champion by the end of 2019. Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you.
I was having fun over here. Colby sucks. Marty from Nebraska sucks. I'm out.